Hi guys, it's jennibellie back with another quite easy art journaling tutorial. This one we're going to do kind of a faux Chinese brush and ink technique, but I'm going to use a regular pointer brush, and what I have here is my Winsor & Newton watercolours, which I am just spritzing with a mini mister filled with water just to activate the watercolours. That's a really good way of getting them ready for use very quickly. While that's setting, I'm just going to show you the brush. It's a number 8, as I said, round pointer brush, and this is the nearest that I have to a Chinese painting brush. But if you have the proper equipment and the ink, etc., then go for it. What the purpose of this tutorial is, I guess, is to be loose in what you are doing. To open up, I am not sketching out anything here. I'm not even really thinking about what I'm doing. What is coming to me is what I'm painting at the time. It's just coming very flowy, very easy. There, where I did the hair, I didn't like how the line went, so I'm just going over it. I don't care if it doesn't turn out exactly right. The right hand side of her neck here is a little bit thicker than in line than the left. Don't worry about it. The purpose is just to be loose, to be free, to be flowing, and it's a really good technique to do as a warm-up to creating some pages. This whole page took me about 20 minutes, I'd say, all in all. Now I'm just making up a very quick face tone colour. I don't really ever have a particular combination of colours that I used. There I used some browns, a little bit of purple, some yellow ochre and some white to create the face tones. And I'm just adding very loosely. I'm not worrying too much about the shading. I'm just going for obvious places where the shading would be and where the light colour would be. Just very free. Try not to use another brush size than the large brush that you are using. Imagine you're doing something like Chinese painting and having the flowing movement that they do. Imagine the long strokes that they create with it. And all I'm doing is just layering up watercolour. It's still going to turn out quite a nice art journal page, so don't stress about it, basically. Just keep going with the flow. If you mess up somewhere, don't worry, just come back, go over it again. I was just going around the hairline there because I didn't like how it looked structured. I liked it looking a little bit messy, so I went over and I went outside of the hairlines at the top, as you can see. Now I'll keep going over with the hairdryer, because obviously if you load up too much watercolour, they're just going to end up merging and you're not going to get the definition with it. So every so often I'll just keep blasting it with the hairdryer when it gets a little bit too wet, to actually keep adding some layering to it. What paper I'm using, in case you're interested, is a really heavy weight Fabriano watercolour paper, and I will put a link in the description to the video where I showed you about this journal that I'm painting in. I created it very simply, binding with watercolour paper and with my grandmother's knitting, so I'll stick a link into that in case you want to know how I made it, or if you want to see the paper more specifically. This is just again me going on thinking, oh, I want to have a bit of grain in here. Oh, I know, I'll make them into leaves. That's my thought process at this time. And keep an eye on the leaves, because as they get dried, they bleed and look a bit messy, which, you know, if you weren't being very open and free with this page, you might go, oh no, look what's happened there, I've added some water and it's bleeded. All I do, you can see just there, it just started bleeding. All I do once it's dried is I just create 2 more leaves out of the bleeding, the watercolour that's bleed. There. 2 more leaves and we're all happy again. Don't worry about it, anything that happens. Just keep going, keep adding, keep subtracting. You can make the point of this number 8 brush actually go quite fine if you want to. Like I was just doing a little bit of definition around the eyes. The best way to do it is to make the watercolour not so watery, and not load up too much on your brush, and it will give you a better definition. So here I'm just writing in very quickly, very loosely, again the point of it. Now I'm just going over with some pro markers. I'm just going to do a little bit of journaling just finish the page up a little bit, and then I'm just going to go around the whole of it and do a little bit of a highlight. The reason why I've chosen this pink is because of her lip colour. I always like to include something that is already in the page and keep improving on that until I'm choosing this colour to do the highlighting, the yellow, because her earring is yellow. So everything is kind of thought out, but no rules, it's just my own personal way of developing a page. And the things that I've learnt over the years doing it. So I'm just going to go over, once I've finished the highlighting, going to go around my very quick pen with some black outline. And that's pretty much the whole entire page. So I hope you liked it, and if you give it a go, just remember not to control yourself anyway, just to let it go and be happy in your creating.